Shadows of the streets. New York City never slept, but some nights felt more awake than others. The sirens, the shouts, the rumbling subway under the cracked floorboards, it all echoed through Marcus's modest Bronx apartment like a reminder of a life he was still learning to outrun. The city's pulse seeped through the thin walls, settling into the air as if it belonged there. Maybe it did. Marcus stood near the window, watching headlights smear across rain-slick asphalt 7 stories below. Behind him, Jamal slumped into the battered couch, hoodie pulled low, jaw tense. He looked like someone who wanted to appear older than he was, and someone who was already carrying more than he should. Marcus finally turned. "Jamal, I see the path you're on. It's one I know too well." The teenager scoffed, a half-hearted attempt at defiance. "Things are different now. They respect me." "Respect?" Marcus repeated. "Respect out there is like smoke. Looks solid, but try holding it." Jamal's eyes flicked up defensively. Marcus recognized that look, the mixture of pride, fear, and a hunger for belonging. He'd worn that expression himself once, years ago, when the streets promised him brotherhood and turned out to be a trap with no exit signs. Marcus knelt so they were eye level. "I thought I had respect too. Thought I had loyalty. But when things got tough, it all vanished. I was just another guy who could be replaced." Jamal looked away, chewing on the inside of his cheek. "They are like family," he muttered. "They've been there when no one else was." Marcus felt that line cut deeper than Jamal realized. He didn't answer immediately. Instead, his eyes drifted to the scar that ran across his forearm, a white slash of memory. He could still smell the old warehouse where he'd been jumped in, mildew, sweat, and cigarette smoke, feel the shock of knuckles slamming into his ribs, hear the laughter afterward, the way they celebrated him like he was something new and valuable. Like he mattered. That illusion had taken years from him. "I get why you feel that way," Marcus said gently. "But the streets don't love you back. They never did. They just use you until you've got nothing left." Jamal shifted, the couch springs squeaking under him. The hardness in his eyes cracked for just a moment. "Then how do you get out, Marcus? If it's so simple, why isn't everyone doing it?" Marcus exhaled slowly. "Because it's hard. Harder than getting in. It means choosing things that feel weak even when they are not. Like asking for help. Like walking away when people are calling you soft or scared. But it's a choice I'll help you make, if you let me." He walked to the kitchen table and picked up a folder stuffed with worn pamphlets. He had been collecting them quietly, hoping, praying, for this exact moment. "These are programs run by people who know what it's like," Marcus said. "People who helped me get out. Mentors. Job training. Writing workshops. Real stuff. Stuff that actually leads somewhere." Jamal stared at the folder, his uncertainty plain. His fingers brushed the edge, then retreated. "Look," Marcus said, voice softer. "You're smart. You're better than all this. Let me help you before you get pulled in so deep you can't walk away." The teenager's throat bobbed as he swallowed. "Will you be with me, though? Through all of it?" "Every step," Marcus said without hesitation. 2 weeks later. Change didn't come fast. Some days were good, Jamal waking up early, actually showing up to the after-school program Marcus brought him to. Other days were rocky, old friends calling him, teasing him, pressuring him. Jamal would come home tense and distant, hoodie up, eyes avoiding Marcus's. But he kept trying. That was enough. The church basement program run by Mrs. Grant became a sanctuary. The walls were plastered with chipped paint and handwritten posters, and the space smelled faintly of soup and floor polish, but it felt safe. Kids from all over came through those doors, trying to outrun the same shadows. Mrs. Grant had a firm voice and a warm presence. "Jamal," she said the first day, "you don't owe those streets anything. But you owe your future a chance." He nodded, unsure but listening. That's when he met Tom, the journalist who volunteered twice a week. Tom carried himself with quiet intensity, the kind of man who had seen too much but still believed in people. He introduced Jamal to something unexpected: storytelling. "It's not about writing pretty," Tom told him one afternoon. "It's about telling the truth. Your truth." Jamal hesitated at first, but when he finally began writing, the words spilled out: memories he'd tried not to think about, nights he'd lied awake listening for footsteps in the hallway, the rush of feeling wanted by guys who didn't care if he survived the next week. His stories weren't polished, but they were raw and real. And they were his. Marcus saw a small shift in him, a lighter step, a longer gaze that wasn't always fixed on the ground. But the city wasn't done testing them. One night, Marcus came home late from work, rain dripping off his jacket. When he opened the door, Jamal wasn't on the couch. The apartment felt too quiet. His chest tightened. Then the door swung open, and Jamal stumbled inside, hoodie damp, breath quick. His phone buzzed non-stop in his pocket. "Where were you?" Marcus asked, trying to keep calm. Jamal exhaled shakily. "They jumped one of the younger guys tonight. The crew said he was talking to someone on the outside. I was there. I didn't do anything. I just watched." His voice cracked. "They said they wanted me back in for something big coming up. Said I've been disappearing." Marcus's jaw clenched. "That's exactly what I warned you about." "I know," Jamal said, hands trembling. "I didn't think it was like that. I didn't think they'd actually, man, he's just a kid." Marcus stepped forward, gripping his brother's shoulders. "And that's how you know it's time to stay away. The deeper you go, the uglier it gets. You saw the truth tonight." Jamal nodded, tears threatening. He wasn't crying, not fully, but Marcus recognized that silent breaking. He had done it once, alone. "Not this time." "You're not going back," Marcus said. "We are going to get you fully out, and we are doing it now." Another month passes. Jamal threw himself into the programs. Mrs. Grant pushed him gently but firmly. Tom helped him shape his journal entries into real stories. Marcus walked him to and from the church on the worst days, when old friends lingered on street corners calling his name. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the grip of the streets loosened. One quiet evening, the church basement filled with folding chairs for the monthly community reading. Parents, volunteers, and tired workers crowded in, looking for a spark of hope. Marcus sat in the back as Jamal walked onto the small stage with his notebook in hand. His voice shook at first, but as he read his story, the one about the night he almost got pulled too deep, the one about Marcus dragging him back toward the light, the room stilled. No one interrupted. No phones buzzed. No sirens intruded. Just a teenager telling the truth. When he finished, the applause was loud but warm. Not pitying. Respectful. Jamal stepped off the stage and went straight to Marcus. "I didn't think I could do it," he said softly. "You did more than do it," Marcus replied, pulling him into a tight embrace. "You showed them who you really are." Epilogue. New York still roared outside every night. Sirens still wailed. Street corners still had their shadows. But for the brothers, those shadows didn't own them anymore. Marcus walked out of the church with Jamal by his side, the cool night air brushing their faces. For the first time in a long time, the city didn't feel like a threat. It felt like a place where futures could be rewritten. They weren't naive. The challenge wasn't over. Temptation lingered. Pressure lingered. But that didn't matter. They had chosen something stronger than the streets. Family. Honesty. A way forward. And step by step, they would walk it together.